Good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to each one of you. Today, Softclone is hosting truly inspiring session. We have the incredible opportunity to learn from Mr. Ganesh Anekar, who has an impressive journey in tech industry. He started the journey as a technical support engineer at Atlantis Computers. He has navigated through various roles, including technical support manager at BMC Software and technical support analyst at Macrit Software and technical lead at Microsoft. He has been senior technical account manager at Microsoft in December 2011 to July 2020. Senior Customer Success Account Manager at Microsoft in July 2020 to October 2020. After that, he has been Principal Customer Success Account Manager
I
at
can't hear
Microsoft.
anything. Probably internet.
After that, he has been Principal Customer Success Account Manager at Microsoft in October 2020 to January 2021. Then, as a Senior Business Program Manager at Microsoft in January 2021 to January 2023. And currently, he is working as a Global Customer Success Senior Business Program Manager at Microsoft. I am very much proud to say that he is an alumni of ICRE and he has completed diploma in computer engineering. We are eager to listen key points regarding interview techniques and soft skills required in industry. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Ganesh Anekar sir to share his experience and insights with us.
थँक्स समृद्धी. ऍक्च्युली मी मराठीत थोडं सुरू करतोय. शुभ दुपार. आज मराठी मातृभाषा दिन आहे. तर सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांना, विद्यार्थिनींना, शिक्षक वर्गाला आणि कर्मचारी वर्गाला मराठी मातृभाषेच्या हार्दिक हार्दिक शुभेच्छा. आणि मराठी भाषेचा वापर करा, कारण रोजच्या जीवनामध्ये आपण बरेच काही शब्द इंग्लिशमध्ये वापरतो. सो मला असं वाटतं की आपल्या सगळ्यांनी मराठी आपणच जर प्रचार नाही केला तर मग मराठी भाषा एक दिवशी लुप्त होऊन जाईल. म्हणून सर्वांनी मराठी वापरायचा प्रयत्न करा. रोजच्या ज्या गोष्टी आपण करत असतो त्याच्यामध्ये वापरा. थँक्स फॉर द इंट्रोडक्शन. जरी मराठी भाषेच्या शुभेच्छा दिल्या असल्या तरी मी इंग्लिशमध्ये बोलणार आहे. आय होप एव्हरीवन विल अंडरस्टँड. At any point of time, if you have any questions, am I audible? Is the audio okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So I am going to present and talk about a lot of things. So a little bit, even though I think Samruddhi she went to LinkedIn and from there she picked up my profile and tried to say few things about my profile. It's not up to date. It is not perfect. I don't update very regularly. But some of the things that I learned, right? So when I did a diploma in electrical engineering, not computer engineering, so that time I was a student like you. म्हणजे मी तुमच्या सर्वांसारखाच एक स्टुडंट होतो. सगळेच चॅलेंजिंग होतं. म्हणजे सब्जेक्ट्स मध्ये मॅथ्स असेल किंवा इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजिनिअरिंगचे सब्जेक्ट्स असतील. त्याच्यानंतर जे डिग्रीला गेल्यानंतर इलेक्ट्रोमॅग्नेटिक इंजिनिअरिंग, ज्याच्यासाठी 2-3 वेळा एटी घेऊन फायनली तो सब्जेक्ट सोडवायला लागला. आणि अशा जर्नीमध्ये बऱ्याच गोष्टी शिकलो, बऱ्याच गोष्टीचा अनुभव घेता आला. आणि बेसिक फाउंडेशनल जे काय नॉलेज आहे म्हणजे एज्युकेशन सिस्टम मध्ये, whether you do 10th 12th and then after that you do diploma in whatever engineering, right, whatever department you are a part of, and then you maybe do higher studies, the bachelor's degree or BTech degree in engineering. That is a foundational education that is required. And today the way I speak English, आणि जर तुम्ही 25 वर्षापूर्वी जर मला भेटला असता तर एवढ्या सरप्राइज्ड. मला इंग्लिश अजिबात बोलता येत नव्हतं, कारण बेसिक एज्युकेशन मराठी मीडियम मधून शाहू कुमार भवन तुमच्या कॉलेजच्या समोरची जी शाळा आहे तिथलाच विद्यार्थी आहे मी. पण ओव्हर अ पिरियड ऑफ टाइम जसा एक्सपिरियन्स येत गेला, जसं द द वे आय was able to connect with people, different companies, and then basically uh, different professional skills that needs to be developed, right? मी फारच लांबचं बोलते. यू आर स्टील अ स्टुडंट आणि मे बी यू आर इन थर्ड इयर, फायनल इयर स्टुडंट, and then your journey into the next career starts from now. Maybe you will take a path into higher studies, or you might start a job, or you might start your own startup company, right? So there could be different ways in this. So today what we are going to focus is, I'm going to talk about two big areas. One is in general, how do you prepare for interviews, how the overall readiness needs to be done for interview, any type of interview. Doesn't matter you are from mechanical or civil or electrical or computer science, whatever the branch that you are part of. The basic fundamental interview process remains the same. It might change little bit based on what company is looking for, and we'll talk about that. So we are going to uh, uh, look out for few points which will make you at least not 100% ready, but it will help you to think in the right direction. How do you prepare for interview, right? It's not about just preparing for resume or having an expertise on your subjects. There are a lot of other things in the aspects that most of the student do not know, right? They don't think that this will be looked at, right? And I have taken interviews, many people's interviews, starting from freshers to people who have 25 years of experience. I have taken their interviews, and I can tell you for sure, today also, even though people have experience of 15 to 20 years, 25 years, they still struggle in interview. So what I'm going to share today is, I'm going to share my personal experience. I have never failed in any interviews, and I'm not saying that I have a magic stick and that will work for you, right? You need to take that judgmental call. You need to understand the logic behind giving interview. It's an art, right? It's not about science, it's not about computer science, it's not about engineering. It's about some type of psychology, some type of readiness, and then there are other aspects, right? And we'll walk I will walk you through all those aspects in today's session. At any point of time, if you have a question, please raise your hand, and probably there is a mic that is provided. You can come forward and ask that question. Feel free. Don't think that this is a session just we have to attend the seminar, right? As a student, there could be any question is welcome, right? And it's not about stupid question. People will laugh at me. Just be open, think logically, come forward, ask that question. Don't, even though people will laugh, don't worry about that. So asking question is one of the key thing in the interviews. Lot of many of the times the candidate forgets to ask questions. They are under so much pressure that I want to get this job, and they don't ask questions. They just keep answering interviews questions. So this is tip number one, right? So basically, asking question is one of the good technique in order to make sure that you are successful in the interviews, right? So with that, I'll share the screen. Let me know once you are able to see it. Just give me a second here. Share. I hope the sharing is on now. Can someone confirm that you are able to see the sharing?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So uh, before I dive into this today's topic, right? So the background, as I did diploma in electrical engineering, in then bachelor's degree in industrial electronics from KIT College of Engineering, Kolhapur. And after that, I started doing a job in Atlantis, which is a small computer hardware software company. From there, I went to Bangalore, took some experience on software development at that time, which is 27 years back. And then after that, I got a break to go to US. So I was in US for 3 years, worked for different companies, the pharmaceutical companies, IT companies in US. And then after coming back, I joined Microsoft. So I was the first 10 employees in Microsoft Bangalore. And then I spent about 7 years in Microsoft, and then I wanted to relocate to Pune. So I joined a company called BMC Software as a manager. And then after 1.5 years, I went back into Microsoft again as an account manager, working with. When I was an account manager, it was an enterprise space and the global space. So basically, the global clients like HSBCs and FSI clients, right? The financial institutes and IT companies and manufacturing companies like Tata's, Bajaj, Kirloskars, all those companies I worked with, Mahindra. For them, I was an account manager from Microsoft. After doing that role for almost 7, 8, 9 years, I moved into the worldwide role, which is the current role from a business standpoint, right? So I no longer work with customers now. I work with the internal stakeholders, the leadership team in Microsoft, to make sure that they run the business correctly. And that's how my the overall career is, right? So uh, going forward into the presentation today, right? So interview readiness for students. Let's take a quick look at the agenda. So this is the agenda for today. We'll look at how to get started in general, not just campus placement, but in general, how do you prepare, right? Let's say you don't get selected in placement. What do you do, right, after your once you complete your diploma in engineering? How do you start if you're looking for a job? If you're not looking for a job in higher studies, then there's a different story. So we'll talk about in general how do you prepare, what needs to be looked at and stuff. Then I'll touch upon campus interviews from a campus interview standpoint. What needs to be done? What are the important things that you should look at? Then some tips and ideas about how should you prepare your resume, and then for campus interviews as well, right? So in general, how should you should prepare your resume plus resume preparation for campus interviews. Then type of interview rounds, like how many interviews round happens in general as well as in campus. Sometimes they might be less or they might be more. Then what do you do before your interview, right? What needs to be done before your interview? Then what do you do during your interview? Some of the things, important aspects of the interview process. And then during the interview process, technical stuff and non-technical stuff, right? What are the areas? I'm not going to touch about any particular uh, engineering subject, but technical aspect of the interview process and non-technical aspect of the interview process. And then what do you do after the interview, right? And then there will be some surprise stuff that will be at the end, and we'll open it for questions when we conclude the presentation, right? Any questions so far? Are we good? Am I audible, loud and clear?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
I can't see the video.
Yes, you are audible, sir. Is the video is visible?
Ranjit sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Sir, audible. If you are audible, start the next one. मला आता काही येत नाही. सांगा आला. आहे ऑनच आहे. तेवढं दिसतंय. आहे. I number of middle of I uh,
Can you hear me now?
yes sir.
How is it? Okay. So let me share the screen. So let me know once you are able to see the screen. This is the screen.
Yes, it's visible.
You can see the agenda, right? You can see the agenda, right? Mute or
Yes sir.
okay, all right. Okay, so sorry about that disturbance. I hope I'm back online again. So this is the agenda for today. So let's move on. So don't wait for right opportunity, right? So this is one of the statement that was made by somebody. Let's see if somebody knows it. But if you wait for the right opportunity, it's not going to happen. You'll always say that I'm looking for the right opportunity, right job, right chance to get into the interview process and stuff, right? So don't wait for that. You need to create it, right? So this is a statement from George Bernard Shaw, very renowned the writer. So basically, opportunities are everywhere. That's what you should believe in. Don't wait. Don't give excuses saying that okay, maybe I might get it someday. Right? Keep trying. Right? You need to try. and that's where the opportunity will get created for you. So uh, make your choices right, so that you don't have to wait for the right opportunity, right? If you keep attempting, if you keep practicing, probably from a student standpoint, keep applying for the job, you will get it one day, right? So that's how it is. Try until you succeed. uh, so basically, moving on to the next slide. So how do you get started? I hope I'm still audible. Can someone confirm, because I see the videos freezed again?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Screen is visible.
सर परत ते व्हिडिओ फ्रीज झालाय बहुतेक. आवाज येतोय? प्रेझेंटेशन पण दिसते? हा ठीक आहे, ओके, आय कंटिन्यू. All right, so how do you get started in general? First thing is research about the company that you are applying for, and this is in general, right? So out of your campus interviews, you're looking for a job. You're targeting few companies. Don't apply in every company, right? Make sure that you target some companies, make a list of those companies, and what you need to do is you need to research about the company that you are applying for. So what do you do in your research? So make sure that you understand what that company does, what are their products, their services, what are they doing, right? What is their core domain, from overall business standpoint, right? What are their simplest thing is you go to their website, find that information out, right? This company does this. For example, tomorrow's interview are going to happen for Wipro company, right? So Wipro Parry. So you need to go to their website, find out what are they into, the automation stuff that they do. Do they use software, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and you'll find a lot of information. What are the projects that they have done, and you can correlate some of the stuff later on in the interview process. So as I said, right, look up their website for career opportunities, their products, services, projects, their clients, what are their about the company, and things like that, right? So that will get you started. Find out the process to apply for the job as a student or freshers. Understand the overall interview process, and this is in general, again, not specifically with respect to the campus interviews. The next part is create your profile by registering yourself on their job portal. If that company has a job portal, make sure that you go there and register yourself, put in right information about your skill set and your personal information and all that. And only register on a genuine job portal, right? The company's job portal, not the job portal offering companies, right? So there are so many companies offer multiple jobs from multiple companies. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about specifically for a particular company that you are applying for. Uh, to go to their website and find out what are the jobs that they have posted, and if you can register yourself, you create your profile and stuff. This is not necessary step, but I just thought of including this into the general instructions on how do you get started. If you are applying through resourcing companies, that's what I was talking about, the body shopping companies. Only one thing that I would ask everyone to look at is be careful, right? Read contracts. Never deposit your important documents like passports and Aadhaar cards to them. What I'm saying is not the Xerox copy or the photocopy. It is actual document, the original document. Don't give it to the body shopping or resourcing companies. You might get into trouble. Or if you are comfortable or confident, so some of your friends have given the went through the contracting process, then understand the contracting process, and then you can hand over your original documents. But that's not a requirement from any companies, but sometimes there is a contracting that happens for multinationals, whether it's any type of company, not just IT company. They might ask you to be on their payroll, and that company is a vendor to the MNC company, right? So that could happen. So make sure that read through the contracting terms, conditions, and stuff like that, so that you don't get in trouble later on, right? So that is in general, right? So let's look at campus interviews. From campus interview standpoint, learn about the companies participating in the campus placement drive. You need to understand, again, do the research. What are these companies doing? What are their products? What are the services? Who are their clients? What are the successful projects that they have done? If there is a project detail about what are the technologies that has been implemented through in that project, you need to look up for that particular project as well, right? So you can correlate if you know some of the skills, if you have some of the things that you have done in your during your engineering classes or practicals, you can correlate, and that will help you to answer some of the questions in the interview, right? So the next one is learn about company values, culture, product, services, recent achievements, the what's in the news and all that, right? So values and culture is important, because you might say that, oh, I joined this company but I'm not happy, there is too much pressure on me, the manager is like this, or the company always puts pressure on their employee, right? So look at the company values and culture. Normally, if you go to their website, if you go to about us site section, or hiring philosophy section, or why this company, that type of section, you will get this information about the values and culture, right? What is the work cultures? Most of the times, like companies like Microsoft, Google, IBM, Oracle, they have these integrated and diverse culture, right? So any people person on this planet can work in these companies, and that is value, right? So the values and culture. There will be multiple people, different type of people from different geographies. Somebody from India, somebody from Thailand, somebody from Hong Kong, somebody from China, somebody is in Scotland, right? So that is a culture, right? So is this company supports multicultural environment, right? So that you can collaborate and work with different set of people to take that experience, understand how they act and react, and in collaboration with you in some of the projects, right? Review the job description and the requirements to have clear understanding of the role that demands, right? Most of the time you say, maybe your sir like Ranjit sir might arrange companies to come and conduct these campus interviews, but do you really know the job description? What are you applying for? I know it is fresher, but is it a particular role, right? Is it like an shop engineer or whatever, right? So design engineer, what type of role it is, right? What are the roles and responsibilities of that job? Understand those that job description, their requirements, what are they looking for, what skill sets are required, from a technical standpoint, engineering standpoint, as well as from other aspect, right? Are they looking for a individual IC type of job, or a manager type of job, or a team player type of job? What is it? You need to review that job description clearly and read through it clearly, so that you understand the requirement and you can use that information in your interview process later on. The next point is basically identify the key skills and competencies required for that position, right? So you need to identify what is this job demanding. Is it demanding just a team player for certain skills and responsibilities, or are they looking for something else, right? Is it the requirement of architect or design engineer or whatever it is? You need to identify those key skills, and this will help you later on when we go to the resume section, resume building section. This will help you later on. So that's why it is quite important before campus interviews, at least review this information, which would be handy for you to understand what are the overall requirements, what the company does, uh, what type of projects that they have done, and things like that. Right. So moving on, from a resume standpoint, again, overall resume structure needs to be very good. I won't say very good in the sense that colorful and dynamic, but it should have a good structure around it. The format, most of the time, or the resume should cover your contact information, your objectives and goals. So clearly write down the objectives and goal. Why you want to get hired, right? What is your goal in life? I want to succeed in career, to do blah 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 for this company to achieve something blah blah blah, right? So that's how you write objective and goal, and you can find this sample objective goals, and if you want to find out what English needs to be written there, you can find it on the internet, and then probably fine tune it, customize it according to your skill sets and your objectives and goals, right? So that's how it should reflect objectives and goals. Next is technical skills section. There should be a section on technical skills in your resume. So it should clearly call out what are the technologies that you know. It could be for computer science engineering, like the languages, tools that you have used. If you are mechanical or electrical engineer, you should write down your area of expertise from a technical skills standpoint. That needs to be called out in the resume. Next is soft skills or professional skills, like you are a good team player, you are a problem solver, like you are result oriented. All that are professional or soft skills. You are good at communication. All that will be a soft skill, right? So make sure that there is a section in your resume which talks about soft skills. Then your educational qualifications, probably you can give whatever details that you want to provide, and then maybe passing year and grades and stuff like that. And then if you have any experience, hands-on experience, or you might have done some internship, projects, assignment, that needs to be clearly called out with duration, what type of role, what was your responsibility for that project. And then the most important thing is, we normally, everybody that I have seen, they create a generic resume which has all these things, but does not match the job description, right? So make sure that you build your resume aligned to the job description. And that's why in the previous slide I said it is quite important to read about that job. I know that everyone is eager to get a job and get going, but if you apply with one general resume, your resume might not get selected unless you have referral or somebody is influencing the hiring process to get you hired. But building a resume which is aligned to the job description, how do you do that? You read the job description, pick up the keyword skills that are mentioned in the job description, and include those into your profile, right, into your resume, so that it matches, right? If somebody does an online search, your name should come up, your resume should come up as maybe first 10 resumes, and that's how you will get an interview call saying that, okay, we think that you have probably matching skills from our requirement standpoint, uh, and that's why you have been selected, and we'll go into the process, right? So that's why it is quite important to understand the job description, identify those skills, match those skills with your skills, and put that into your resume, right? So that's how you build your resume in general. Again, let's take a look at from a campus interview standpoint, right? So you need to build a strong resume based on the previous points that I talked about. And then you need to highlight your academic achievements, the projects, the internships, if you've done any extracurricular activities. Maybe you are participating in setting up some events in college, right? Or you have demonstrated a team player type of project, right? So all that extracurricular activities, maybe a good sports person or maybe good actor, you have done something. So make sure that you call that out, and your relevant skills, right? So extracurricular activities and relevant skills, that needs to be included in your profile or resume for the campus interviews. Another thing that you need to look at, practice answering common interview questions, right? Such as uh, introduce yourself, right? So the interviewer might say that, can you talk about yourself for 2 minutes? Do you know the answer? Are you ready with that answer, or are you going to build your answer when that question is asked, right? So probably this is a very common question. Can you introduce yourself, or can you talk about yourself for 2 minutes? So for those 2 minutes, you need to have right sentence formation about reflection about you, your skill set, what are you looking for, what are your goals, your objectives, and all that, right? So introduce yourself is a common question that is asked in lot many interviews. Make sure that you practice that question at home, right? Practice with your friends, right? And say that, ask me this question, let me answer that question. And then that should call out your strengths and weaknesses. Normally, don't talk about weaknesses, talk about your strengths. Maybe you want to format your sentences in a such a way that the weakness is projected as a strength, right? So when these questions are asked, you should be able to talk about your strength so that it excites the interview, that this candidate has some potential so that we can hire he or she, right? And then you can also connect the overall answer to why are you interested in the role, right? Why you should get hired. So that's how, these are the common questions. You go to any interview, whether it's a campus interview, any company's interview, they will ask you this question. And then you should be ready with these type of questions and give a confident answer, right? So moving on, the next is about try to match the skills again from job description, right? Add them into your resume. That is a common tip that I'm repeating again and again, that matching the job description and adding them into your resume is very, very important point. A lot of students don't do that. They just circulate the resume everywhere, apply, and they will say that okay, jo hoga dekha jayega, let's see what happens, right? So my suggestion is, if you want to really get selected, your resume needs to get selected, match the job description. Now let's take a look at the type of interview rounds, right? So there are different processes. Placement might be a shorter one because there are not many students will apply, and then they have to conduct a lot of interviews in a day. But in general, right, so there will be an aptitude round, which is on logical, analytical, and mathematical type of questions. You need to make sure that you are very good at problem solving, puzzles, and English. This could be an aptitude round. It's online test. You go there, or probably they will put you in a room and give a paper, and you have to solve that paper, right? Most of the time it is online nowadays. The next type of round could be a group discussion, right? If they are looking for a certain role type of person, then it could be a overall, they might arrange group discussion, right? And they will identify, are you a good team player? How is your communication skills? What is your knowledge about the subject? The important point here is the tip, articulation and command on English, right? So I'll talk about articulation a little later. Command on English is not a 100% requirement, but you should be able to know what are you talking about, right? So if in a group discussion, if the topic is given, uh, you should have the knowledge about the topic, or you should build that top knowledge based on how other people respond, right? So, and then speak clear English, right? Not, as I said, right, you can't be a fluent English speaker like an American or a British, but at least speak clear English so that the other person understands and you converse further into the group discussion, and probably that will give you more points on your selection to the next round. In a technical round, you need to have basic understanding of subjects, right? The fundamental concepts, technologies. For computer science, it could be programming, the OOPS concept and stuff. If it is electrical, mechanical, you should know the basics of electrical motors and mechanical engineering subjects, right? So make sure that you understand the basics of your core subjects, the fundamental concepts of those subjects. And these are the things you don't have to prepare as a separate thing, right? It is part of your curriculum, right? It is part of your education system. You are appearing for those exams, and obviously you will know these subjects in and out, right? And that's why, from a technical round standpoint, make sure that you have understanding of the subjects, fundamental concepts are clear. The tip here is technical skills concept at least up to the mark, right? You can't be an expert, and they understand, the interviewer understands that you cannot be an expert. So they will judge, they will try to gauge, yes, this person knows the basic fundamental knowledge about that subject, right? So that's what they will try to identify by asking certain questions. And we'll talk about what type of those questions later on. But from a technical round standpoint, make sure that you have basic fundamental concepts clear with respect to the subject. The last round could be an hiring manager or HR round, like personal. They will ask personal questions, your family, your current location, and salary. How much is your expectation? What are your interests and hobbies? And they might ask you, why should we hire you, right? And you should, again, this is a common question. Why should we hire you? That always happens in the last round, or HR or hiring manager round. So practice this question, right? prepare the answers well in advance and practice it at home, so that you are confident while you are answering this question. The tip here is be open and honest. Ensure that you know what is written in your resume, right? HR or hiring manager might read your resume completely, which interviewer might not do, right? The person who takes your interview. But in HR and hiring manager round, they might go through each and everything written in your resume, and they might ask you questions like, I see that your interest is reading books. Can you tell me what is the recent book that you have read, right? And you should be ready with this, right? You should be able to answer immediately, saying that, okay, I got a chance for 3 days off, and it was a holiday, and I read this book, right? So you should be able to have some answer which is probably makes sense for the HR or hiring manager, that this candidate is confident. So that's why you need to understand what is written in your resume. I have seen a lot of times students or whoever the experienced people, they don't know what is written in their resume. So if I pick up a keyword and ask a question, they start thinking, give me 2 minutes, let me think about it. Can you give me more information, right? So then I know that this person is trying to guess, right? And then he's trying to format an answer. So that's why it is quite important that make sure that you understand what is written in your resume, right? So that is quite important, which will help you in some of the rounds. So let's move on to the next slide, which is before your interview. Again, some of the stuff, do your research. Don't just stop at understanding the job that you have applied for. So that's tip number one. Understand what is happening in the industry. What is this company doing? What are the recent projects that they have delivered? Right? It could be any company. Like Wipro, Pari, right? So you look at their projects. I was reading their site yesterday, and they are so amazing company, and they have done so many projects, right? They have done robotics automation, they have done mechanical project, they have delivered so many manufacturing plants and stuff like that. So that's why it is quite important, so that you can create your story around why do you want to be part of their team, right? Make sure that you try to align your story to their project, right? So that you can correlate. And then they might ask you, right? Why do you want to why do we hire you, right? Why do you want to be part of our team? What type of project you'd like to work? So this is again, this depends on the research for that company that you do. I know it is quite difficult to do research for each and every company, but if you're doing a targeted job looking efforts, then you have to do this research. If you want to circulate your resume, it will float around on the with a lot of companies. You'll never get a call, and you'll be thinking that I didn't get a call. What I have done, maybe there are a lot many candidates they have applied, and then my resume did not get selected, right? So that's why these points are very important. Again, it's up to you. I'm not saying that this will work for you 100%, but these are the some of things that will help you to probably get into the next process, right? So before the interview, do this type of research. Then let's look at core competencies, right? So core competencies is understand your core competencies. Now, I talked about values and things from a company standpoint, but now you need to understand your core competencies. Are you good at collaboration? Are you thrived for results? Are you customer focused? Will you be able to influence for impact? Are you result oriented, right? Do you have adaptability, right? So ability to deal with any ambiguous situation or uncertain situation, where the problem is fastly changing, the world is the situation is challenging, right? Are you able to do that, right? So those are your core competencies, and it is part of your soft skill that connects to how honest you are, how good person you are. And I'll tell you the secret here. Normally the core competencies, people with honesty, being a good person, will get selected because they demonstrate that they can be a good candidate, right? If you try to work around the situation and give an roundabout answer, then they might not choose you, right? They might ask you questions about your resume. As I said before, you can think about examples which you can include and share in the interview conversation, which will help you to look at the overall impact to drive that in the interview, right? So before your interview, you should think about examples that you can include, and I'll talk about some questions in when we reach during the interview process slide. Uh, you'll also need to look at results, customer focus, collaboration, adaptability, influence for impact. All these are core competencies, right? In a person, right? And you don't need to go and learn these and find out in the on the internet, but you need to make sure that you understand what are your core competencies. Are you a good team player? Are you customer focused? Are you ready to work with different cultural teams, right? Somebody is in China, as I said, somebody is in Australia, somebody in North America, right? Are you able to collaborate with them, right? Are you able to adapt to the fast changing environments, right? Those are your core competencies. Those are your soft skills as well, right? Your skill set as a person. Some people are very good at singing, right? That's their core competence. Some people are very good at probably drawing, right? They might be good at drawing. That is their core competency, right? And that is called soft skill as well, right? So look at your core competencies. Make sure that you understand them very well before your interview, so that you can correlate and call them out during the interview process. Next on is company structure. Understand the company culture, and I think again I'm repeating the growth mindset, diversity, inclusivity. Diversity means different type of people. Maybe somebody is physically disabled, somebody cannot speak, somebody cannot hear. Are you? And then there are different genders, right? Are you able to work in diverse environment, right? You need to look at that company culture, and before the interview you understand, and that's why I said research is important. Going to their site website and finding that information is important. Also find out about their values: respect, integrity, accountability, ownership. What are they talking about, right? Why you should get hired in their company, right? And they will say, there will be a section, as I said, why you should work for Google or Microsoft or whatever company that you're looking for. If it is a small company, that type of information might not be there, but the person who has referred you, ask them about that company and get that information. Ask those questions to them, and collect that information so that you understand that company's working culture, right? Work culture. Because once you get the job, every day, right, you're going to work till you move on to the next company or next job. So that's why it is quite important how their overall company culture is, so that you enjoy doing the job for that company, right? So this is before interview. Now let's take a look at during the interview process. So some of the most important thing is be yourself. Don't think too much that I am going to get selected, I'm not going to get selected, what happens if I don't get this job, what should I do, how should I answer. Don't don't be scared, just be yourself. Make sure that you dress professionally if you are able to possible. Maybe for campus interviews it could be your college dress or something like that. The important point is be confident, be honest, maintain positive body language. Don't sit like neck down and there is no excitement that you are appearing for the entire. Sit straight, look into the eyes. That is the body language, right? And maybe use your hands and face the interviewer. Don't look up, don't look outside, don't look at your probably resume or any other stuff, right? Be straight, look directly into the interviewer's eyes. Be confident, have strong, demonstrate the strong communication skill, and then carry all documents. That's just a logistic. But overall, be yourself, be confident, be calm. Nothing is going to happen if you don't get a job. You might get a next chance, you might have another company, you'll definitely get a job, right? So don't worry too much, but just focus yourself, concentrate, demonstrate your skills, be positive, be confident, and then you should be able to do well in the interviews. Thinking and curiosity. This is again demonstrate your thinking and curiosity. When I say thinking, uh, what you think matters more than what you know, right? So most of the time, what happens is, uh, when the question is asked, we directly jump onto the solution. We start answering the question. Yes, I know, I will answer this question immediately, right? Just step back, think. If you are not understood the question clearly, maybe ask clarifying questions, saying that Mr. Interviewer, I understood that, okay, this is the situation, but I have these two questions, right? Get that questions clarified, and then you start answering the question, right? If you immediately jump onto the on answering the question, you are not going to give a good answer. You might provide an answer, but it will be like a roundup, right? You will not be focused. And I mentioned articulation. Now articulation, which I mentioned few slides back, articulation is making sure that what you know, right? And that is what exactly you will talk to the point. If you guma phira ke answer, if you give, then it is not going to work, right? If you are not clear, then ask clarifying questions, get that clarity, and then answer the questions. If you attempt without this practice, what will happen is you will give the answer, but it will not be convincing answer to the interviewer, right? Interviewer might say that, okay, this guy is just trying to shoot in the air, right? He doesn't know. He is an attempting answer, but I'm not convinced, right? So make sure that when you ask clarifying question, interviewer will appreciate that. That is the practice followed in lot of companies. You should ask that person, and this is called resource, using a resource, right? So that means you are a good team player. When you are stuck, when you have a challenging situation, you go to that person, use him as a resource, ask the questions, get the clarification, and move on to your next steps, right? So that's why uh, you need to have that curiosity, you need to have that thinking thought through process, so that you can put the right answer to that particular situation or a question. Another important thing is, if you really don't know the answer, they will ask you a question where you might say that, okay, I right now don't know, but I will learn this particular skill, or I will make sure that I go and read about it, or I will practice this. That is called learning potential, right? And that is what is another very good important tip in any interview. If you are stuck, if you don't know, don't attempt the answer. Just say that I know this part, the first part, but the second part I will need to go and maybe enhance my skills. That is called learning potential, and that is what interviewer will look for, right? Is this person ready for learning? Is he open for learning when we hire him? Because any candidate that gets hired is not ready for that company. They will put you through the training process. That means there has to be learning process that that person will have to go, and that's why they will look for learning potential, right? Identify that question. When that question is coming to you, you know that this question is interview is checking me on whether I am open for learning or not. Don't give up saying that, okay, I don't know, I don't care, right? So that attitude will not work. So that's why they will look for learning potential, uh, in any of the candidate, right, who is struggling to answer questions and stuff like that. Next is articulate, be specific, and here is one of another secret or tool. Use the star model while answering: situation, task, action, and action, result, and reflection. Understand the situation. What is the question that has been asked? Is there a task that is involved here, or is there an action? Or are they trying to look for a result? And then what is the reflection, right? So this is a star model. You can learn about this on the internet, but star model is very effective in articulation and being specific, right? When you're formatting your answer, look at the overall question and then format your answer in this star model, right? And that's how you should be able to articulate. Now articulate is basically means what you really know, what is written in your resume. Are you able to represent yourself in the right manner? That's called articulation. And lot of candidates fail in this category. That's why they cannot crack the interviews. The most important aspect of the interview, right? Articulation. I'll give you an example. I see a topper, right, who is the first, who came into university, is not able to answer the question in the interview. He knows that subject. He got 100 out of like maybe 90 out of 100 or 95 out of 100. He is master in that subject when it comes to writing. But when he was asked the question to speak about it, he was not able to answer that question. And that's where he failed, because he was not able to articulate. Articulate. Another side of the articulation is presenting yourself, talking about what you know, right, in the right format, and being specific. घुमा फिरा के आंसर, I know this that, who, ये वो करके नहीं, it's not going to work. right? If you don't know, say don't know. I don't know, sir. May I ask you to proceed on to the next question? That's okay, perfectly fine. But if you know half answer, you can still attempt. And but I'll talk about it in the next few slides. So, but articulation is important. Talking to the point, talking to being specific on about your answer is very important. Try to use the star model and see if it helps you in tomorrow's interview or in the interviews in the future, right? uh, this will help you to create a clarity and structure in your thought process. That's called logical thinking, which is again your core competence, right? So basically it ties back to how you are a person as, right, from a core competency standpoint. That's why it is important. How are you able to represent yourself and create that clarity and structure when you are answering any question that is asked in the interview? Now let's take a look at what do you do or what happens during the interview from a technical standpoint. Again, I'm not going to talk about any subject. From a technical problem solving standpoint, problem breakdown, and navigate through the problem, right? Some if Most of the time what I've seen is when the technical problem solving question is thrown at someone, they will start immediately answering the question, right? You need to again ask clarifying questions. Make sure that you understood the problem clearly. Break that problem down into different troubleshooting areas. That actually will demonstrate your troubleshooting skills. And then they will look at your thinking, approach, clarifying choices. They might ask you trick questions and ambiguities, right? So that is technical problem solving type of question that will come in the technical interviews. So you need to make sure that how do you first of all create that clarity, understand the problem or technical problem clearly, and then start approaching answering that question, right? The next point is on the design thinking. They might ask you to build or design a new system or a platform from a scratch. It could be a small thing for students like you, but sometimes it happens for experienced professional interviews, right? If you're applying for architect role or a design engineer role, they might ask you to build something which is maybe a new requirement, right? And they will look at how you think from a design standpoint. Are you able to create that design? It might not be correct answer, but do you have thought process in your mind, right? Are you able to at least think about designing or building a new system, right? The next point is if you are like from a software or coding standpoint, are you able to write clean, concise, bug-free code, right? Probably you need to practice a lot to write this type of codes. Nowadays it's a copy paste. You might go to AI and copy and paste the code, but if you're really writing a code, practice it. Make sure that it's clear, concise, bug free. It follows You have followed the security aspect of that code. That's how those technical questions might be asked to solve your problem, write a program or a code in the technical round of in the interview round, right? So again, think before you answer. Don't jump to the solution or conclusions. If you want to answer, ask clarifying questions. I'm repeating this again and again because a lot of students, a lot of interview candidates, they don't ask clarifying questions. Once you have clarity and still there is an ambiguity, what you should do is you should call out those ambiguities. That's called assumptions, right? So you say, while I'm answering this question, I assume one, two, three things, and then your answer to your actual question, right? So that's how you handle that particular part of your technical round. Then the last one is if company is using specific technology in the campus interviews, look at again, as I said, what are the tools that they use, what are the technologies, software, hardware, electrical, mechanical tools, system like PLC systems or whatever it is, the machines and stuff like that. Make sure that you understand what are those specific technologies. Again, this is not a part of your technical answer, but if you know it, you'll be able to correlate the answer or format your answer in that fashion, right? Then let's take a look at some of the non-technical aspect. The important thing is behavioral questions, right? So be prepared for behavioral questions. They can ask you anything. Interview might try to check how you handle a pressure by providing an example or see how you react. I have asked many times, like, what is the challenging situation you handle in your life, right? Now this could be anything. While driving, your tire is punctured, and that was a challenging situation because it was middle of the night. So that situation might be anything, but you should have a logical thinking, because this is now depending upon the way you reacted in that situation, right? Were you able to come out of that challenging situation? What are the approach that you did? What is the logical thinking you did? All that will be checked through this question, right? They will give you an example. It could be open-ended question, it could be closed question, right? They might say that, okay, here is what it is, give me the answer. Or they might say, here is the half part, now you tell the second part of the question, or that open-ended question, right? So it depends on the interview's mindset at that particular time. They might ask you, and they will check how you are as a person, and how did you behave, how did you tackle, how did you handle that situation. That will be a behavioral question that will be looked at, and that will demonstrate your skill set on how good you are at handling those type of situations. The next one is situational. Again, some type of situation they will give you. uh, Maybe it's not full situation that they will give you. They will give you a half baked situation, that it's not a complete information. And they will look at, like I said, right, they will ask, they will check whether you are asking clarifying questions or not in that situation, or are you jumping to the answer directly, right? So that's why it is important to understand, listen carefully to the question. Any doubt that comes in your mind, ask that clarifying question, right? And this will help you to answer that question clearly from a non-technical standpoint, or probably technical standpoint. It could be a technical question, non-technical question, depends on what type of question the interviewer is going to ask you. Moving on, the important thing of the interview, right or wrong answer, right? Are you Because right or wrong answer will lead the interview into different direction. If you keep giving the right answers, your interview will get tougher and tougher, or it might get easier or easier. It depends. If you give wrong answer, it might end very soon, right? Or it might get into lengthy discussion. So sometimes interview will ask you questions which does not have a right answer or wrong answer. Could be a trick question. Be prepared, be honest, and think logically. Ask clarification, and then you can answer that question. Overall, again, if for right and wrong answer question, they will not look at the answer itself. They will look at how did you behave, right? Again, that's why it is quite important that body language, the way you answer the question, your reflection to the question, answering that question, the logical thought process that you did, and the overall answer to that question, right? So that's why, um, try to identify these type of questions, and then take a time. If you need a pause, say that, give me 30 seconds, sir, I want to restructure my thought process, and then I will attempt the answer, right? So that's how you can take that time and answer that question. So that's why, don't take pressure, right? As I said, be confident and create that clarity in your mind, and then you can answer the question. The next one, like, be honest. If you don't know the answer, never try to attempt the answer, right? Because the interviews are smart, they will understand that this guy is trying to uh, चूना लगाने का काम कर रहा है, झूठ बोल रहा है, right? So it will be caught easily. So don't worry about it. Be honest. Say that, sir, I don't know at this point of time, but I'm open for learning. If there is any training or anything that you want me to focus on, I'll make sure that I prepare that in next upcoming period, right? If you know the partial answer, explain that with clarification and assumption. And I mentioned this before as well, right? If you know the partial answer, say, sir, I want to take an stab at it. I want to just take an attempt at it. I don't know the 100% full answer, but let me make these assumptions and try to answer that question, right? And that will be appreciated. This particular things, these four things that I mentioned in this slide, demonstrate how good you as a person, right? If you look at it, there is nothing technical here. It's all non-technical. It actually, we are judging a person is ready or not, right? Because then once you get hired, you'll be doing something else. They will give you training, they will make sure that you understand business processes and stuff like that, and they will get you ready for the job. And this is how the interviewer will determine that this person is good. He is able to handle pressure. He is very clear with thought process. He is thinking correctly. If he doesn't know, he's honest. He's saying that I don't know. He's also open for learning. All these are the competencies of a person that will be looked into non-tech in the interview, right? So these are some of the tips and tricks. I might not give 100% like a magic stick to get you successful in the interviews, but remember these points, maybe practice it, and I'm sure that at one point of time you will realize whatever I said today. You will say that yes, I attended this seminar and I realized that this is the question that interview asked and this is how I responded. And we'll talk about it. What do you do after the interview, right? So after your interview, make sure that maybe ask for timelines, and this is just logistics again, or the next steps and actions and hiring decisions. In the campus interview, it might be your TPO who will provide you the information. But in general, if you're appearing for an interview in the company, you should ask about that stuff. Follow up and stay connected. Make sure that you are connected with the recruiter. Then make sure that look at follow that company in the Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. Update your LinkedIn profile if you get hired. So self-reflection. This is the important aspect. The third section here, reflection on interview process. So whatever I said, make sure that whether you are successful, you are not successful in the interview process, sit for 10 minutes and reflect on your interview process. How well you were prepared, what research you did, how was your resume, what was the interview process, what are the questions asked. It's called self-evaluation or self-criticism. And this is one of the most important skill that I developed very early in my career, and that's why I'm successful. Anything that I do self-evaluation, self-criticism. I look at myself and ask me question. Did I do the right things? Did I answer correctly? How would I have done it next if I get the same question next time, right? That is called self-evaluation and criticism. And then you learn and grow. That's how you learn and grow, right? When you fail, you know that why you failed, right? You do more studies and then you'll be successful, right? So that's how experience is the best teacher in the world. That's how we learn in our life. And that's why the self-evaluation, self-criticism is very, very important. Make sure that you sit down and just do the recap of entire process. The moment you applied, you did the research, you have prepared your resume, then you appeared for the interview, what were questions asked, how well the interview went, and your answers to those questions. Do this self reflection. That will help you to be successful in the next interviews, right? So that's how you think, or probably these are the some of the tips and tricks about the overall interview process, how do you get hired, your resume preparation and stuff that I talked about. Some bonus tips, right? So there are so many students in the world. In India, there are so many engineering colleges, and you will see that so many people are applying for the same job, right? For maybe for one job, there could be 10,000 applications. So try to focus on creating a differentiator. So for that, apart from building a strong resume, make sure that you create a differentiator. So how do you create the differentiator? Enhance your overall communication skills. Join probably English speaking course, online, offline. Practice English. English is not compulsory, but still, because of the process that we follow, you should be able to articulate, present yourself, and uh, 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 be successful in the interview process. Right. The important tip here is overall communication skills are just basic. Articulation power, demonstrating what you know, what makes a lot of difference, and that is why differentiator. Uh, if possible, do additional certification which are industry recognized, right? So that's an additional stuff. Any project that you work on, any course, additional certified course that you do which is industry recognized, and it's not required to be only technical, it could be non-technical certification as well, right? There are so many much stuff is available. So what this will do is overall strong resume, differentiation in the skills, you are able to demonstrate and articulate. That will create a differentiation in those 10,000 applications, right? You will have those additional skills which other students might not have done. There might be repeating as well, but still try to create that differentiation. And I'm giving, again, these are not 100% tips that will work for everyone. You think what differentiator you can create in your resume so that your resume gets selected, saying that, okay, here is the person who has the skills that we are looking for. let's hire this person, or let's set up and get him into the interview process, right? So creating differentiator is the message here that everyone needs to look at. uh, and then if you have real-time project experience, you need to make sure that you call that out clearly. What was your role, how well you did, what were your responsibilities, how big was the team. If there's a client that you work for, you should call that out. And to conclude on the last slide, to build stronger career, learning process is lifetime, right? Don't stop saying that now I became an engineer, I don't have to learn, right? Learning happens every day. I learned today as well. So don't get away from learning. Whatever uh, things that you can learn from your technical, professional, soft skills perspective, make sure that you keep learning. And at the end of the day, experience does matter, right? It matters. So technology certification, I spoke about this. uh, Work on live projects, use cases. You can do your own project as well. Try to solve human problems, right? There are so many problems on this planet. You might do automation, whatever the way you want to do. Maybe an computer engineering and mechanical engineer comes together and does a project, right, on a use case. Could be for farmers, anybody, right? So think about how you can influence human beings, uh, and make their life easier, right? So live projects, live use cases, that will matter most. Understanding the business process, and that's why I said, in order to create differentiator, you need to look at the business process trainings, if there are any, right? There are a lot of business processes that every company follows, and that's why it is quite important. Get a general understanding. Once you are into the company, obviously you're going to understand their sales process, CRM, ERP, a lot of stuff is there. So make sure that you learn that. And this is applicable to all the engineering students, not just one particular department, right? And the next one is soft skill. I talked about this many times. Develop your soft skill, presentation skills, articulation. Presentation is not just like building a PowerPoint, but presenting yourself, building your strong resume, right? And then all other core competencies, look at that, and develop those soft skills. The next point is, you will learn on the job as well. On the job, once you are hired, they will teach you a lot of things. You might know, maybe you might know 40%, 70%, or 60% you might learn on the job. Or it could be 70% you already know, 30% you learn on the job, right? So that is an ongoing learning process, and that's why I say learn, learn, learn. Be always open for learning. Don't say that, okay, I got the job, I'm settled, I'm done, right? It's not going to happen. uh, if you're looking for postgraduate studies like MBAs, PhDs, or degree, DTech, B degrees, make sure that you again you are into the learning process, right? So that's another aspect. The next one is develop expertise in SME, and as I said, differentiator. What I mean by that is develop expertise. Be a subject matter expert. If you are from computer science engineering or electrical engineering, develop your skill set, such as you are a subject matter expert. You should be called, right? Saying that, okay, now nobody knows how to solve this problem. Please call Mr. XYZ. He's an expert in this one, and he can solve this problem, right? So that's why you develop your expertise in SMEs. Again, that goes back to your soft skills and overall articulation and communication and building stronger resume, right? Or a differentiator. So that's why developing expertise and becoming an SME matters. So you need to look at how do you develop this. Uh, Apart from, we talked about interview process and job and everything, right? But if you have a thought process in mind that you want to start business or startup, learn those skills. See how the business is startup can be set up, right? What are the processes there? Again, you will touch upon a lot of things mentioned in this particular blocks, right? Business processes, live use cases, technology, soft skill, all that are required for a startup as well. So make sure that you understand what are those and learn. Again, learn, and that will give you experience, and that will matter most for you to be successful. One last slide on this: watch out for market trends, right? So anything that you want to do, whether it's a career development, whether it's a startup or business, you will have to look at what is the demand in the market, right? Again, that is a learning process. There could be many subjects around looking at market trends, customer base, the revenue forecast, and share market, and a lot of stuff that you need to watch out. So overall, to conclude, learning is ongoing experience. Till the time we are on this planet, we'll always learn, right? So an experience will give you most of the stuff to become successful. That's how I was successful. I never was guided or advised by someone saying that, okay, you do this, you do that, and I learned from experience, and that's what exactly I'm trying to share with you. I hope you liked it. I am not giving you the 100% right uh, tips and tricks. It will not. What I mean by that is, it might not work for you. It might work for you, but I think based on my past experience and the things that I learned, uh, uh, I wanted to share that with you as a student in your early stages in the career. Uh, I hope you liked it. If there is any feedback, any questions, anything anybody want to ask, please come on the mic and probably ask the question. I hope it was clearly audible, Ranjit sir.
Purple is very important.
Sorry, आवाज
Yes,
ठीक येत होता ना?
yes, sir. It was audible.
Okay, perfect. Questions? No questions? All clear? Yes, yes. Come forward. Oh, he's leaving.
Yes, all question.
You can ask question in Marathi as well. No worries. Any feedback from anyone? Did you like it? Didn't like it? It was so boring. We know what to do in the interviews.
Hello, sir. My name is
Yes,
Rajvardhan Desai.
yes,
I have
Rajvardhan.
one question.
Yes.
What keyword should include in a resume so that resume get shortlisted for an interview? Some companies uses the automation process to shout out resume. What keyword should it include
Okay.
in the
Good question. I like it. Anybody from these the people that I see, the girls? Anybody wants to answer that question? Want to try and attempting to answer that question? What keywords needs to be included in the resume? Because a lot of companies use tools to select resumes. Based on what you learned, does anybody want to answer that question? कोणाला ट्राय करायचं का आन्सर? हे कीवर्ड कुठून शोधायचे हा प्रश्न आहे राजवर्धनचा. कुठं असतात हे कीवर्ड्स? एनीवन? अरे एवढे शाय आहेत का लोक? सर तुम्हाला घाबरतायत बहुतेक. Okay, so I'm little disappointed that nobody answered this question. I clearly said, right, you read the job description. Any job, don't use a common resume for all the job that you apply. If you're applying for role an engineer, just an example, make sure that you read through the job profile. What are they looking for? Are they looking for a team player? Are they looking for electrical engineer or a computer engineer or particular Python language or whatever machine learning or whatever it is? You will get those keywords there. Make sure that you call that out, you write that down in your resume, right? That's where you get your keywords. If you have one single profile, your resume will never get selected because everybody has a common profile, and the requirement from the job is totally different in compared to what is written in your resume. That's why it is quite important that you look at the job, read the job description. What are the roles? What is the role? What is the responsibility? Are they looking for particular thing? Try to, once you read it, you will know, and then you pick up those keywords, put it into your resume in your maybe soft skills section, or could be in the technical section, could be in the objective itself or goal itself, or probably the project that you've done. That's where you write those keywords, right? So that's how I would look at it. If there are different methods, then you can follow that method. But my answer is, in order to get shortlisted, first of all, create the differentiator, which is another thing that I told. But in order to, in a general thought process, make sure that you read the job description, pick up those keywords, keywords, put it into your resume, and then apply to that job. Right? If you keep one single common resume, you will never get a call from any company. Right? Even from the job sites as well. I hope I answered your question, Rajvardhan. Any follow up question?
Thank you, sir. Another question is how to answer a
Is it
salary
there?
question. Interviewer might ask how much salary we want. How to properly answer that question? Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
So can you hear me?
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
I can't hear you.
Hello, sir.
Ranjit sir?
Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello. Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Am I audible? People from your side? Sir, I'm audible, sir. I'm audible. Hello, Samruddhi. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
हॅलो, माझा आवाज येतोय आता? हा, पण तुमचा मला येत नाहीये, मग ते कसं करणार आता? काय? हॅलो. हा.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Hello.
कॉमन सॉफ्ट स्किल. Sorry. Common soft skill, as I said, right? Make sure that. एक minute, huh? I'll answer from. I'll take away the phone. So the question is, how do you develop the soft skills, right? So soft skills is nothing but what you have, your English speaking skills, your are you a good team player, uh, basically presentation skills, overall communication skills. All those are soft skills. You should make sure that you are able to participate in the conversation, you are able to represent yourself, and then you basically attempt the questions, or the answers, right? Particularly the list of soft skills, there is no fixed list, right? And then you can't say that, okay, I have these soft skills. So what I would suggest is, just give me a second here. Closed. Okay, I hope I'm still audible. So basically, soft skill is nothing that you will go into a learning class and you will learn, right? Soft skill is about how good you are at listening, how confident you are, how do you do the negotiation, how do you do like public speaking, how do you do probably storytelling, uh, how much patience do you have, are you able to brainstorm something and think about a particular problem or a situation logically? These are the skills in a human being, right? You can't go and learn in the institute. Are you an active listener? Do you have design thinking, right? Do you think divergently? All that, or written skills, all these are soft skills that needs to be demonstrated, so that the other person knows that this is a confident person who can speak in public. Or let's say you are good at writing a poem, or you are good at storytelling, you should be able to reflect the same storytelling during the interviews, right? Not telling the stories actually like our movie stories. It's about the story around that question, the subject, the situation. That is the skill that will be looked at, right? So that is called soft skill. It's nothing new. Everybody has that, and that's why I said self-criticism, self-reflection. Identify what are you good at, and that will help you to identify those soft skills. I hope I answered the questions. If you're not happy with that, let me know and I can try my best again. Hello.
Hello, sir. I'm Rajavardhan this side. I have another question. How should we answer the salary question? How should we negotiate with the interviewer? Or how to get and how they are, what, what's their maximum limit?
So the question from Rajvardhan is, how should we answer a question if the interviewer or hiring manager or HR asks about a salary, right? How much you should say, and how do you know how much they are offering? Uh, how so I will answer the second question first. How much they are offering, it cannot be, unless they declare, you cannot find that out, right? There could be different ways, could be different type of salary slabs for that position, right? They might hire one candidate saying that you will get this x amount of rupee package, or for the same job role the other candidate might get x plus one or more than x, right? That could happen. So you will not know how much salary they are going to offer you. The package details or the salary per year, per annum salary will not be disclosed by that company. That is up to the interviewers and hiring and HR, that process, because they hire a person based on the budget, right? Hiring is not simple process. It requires a lot of stuff to thought through and then arrange the hiring process. They will look at project costs, capex, opex, the budget, the travel costs, employee salary, other employee salaries, and performance bonuses, shares, all that consideration. They will think, they will decide that this much salary can be offered, and that will be not known to the candidates who are in the interview process. So that is the answer to the second part. Now, if the question is the question that Rajvardhan asked, that how much we should ask for, right? If interviewer says that, what is your expectation about your salary, then you should simply say that, because I'm a fresher, I'm open to learning, I would right now go with uh, your best offer that is as per the market conditions, right? Or best offer that you can give me from a salary standpoint. Only thing that I would be interested to know is how that structure is going to be, right? What will be in my in cash or take home salary for me, which includes your bonus shares or performance, whatever it is, right? So get that bifurcation. But you cannot say that I will only work for 35 lakhs or 50 lakhs. That's not a good idea. You can't say that as a fresher. If you are an experienced professional, then you can say that I am looking for 10% hike on my existing salary. So let's say you are already getting 15 lakhs per annum. You might say that I am looking for 20 lakhs or something like that, right? That is perfectly fine. But for a fresher, don't say that, don't call out the amount. You say that because I am a deserving candidate, I am looking for the best possible offer that you can offer me from a salary standpoint, and I will be grateful to you if you provide me more information about the salary structure, and go from there, right? So that's how I would answer that question. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Now I think there was some problem. Now I can see you all, and I can hear you as well.
Thank you, sir.
Ranjit sir, I will drop this call. Any other question? Please feel free to ask. I can stay for on the call for few more minutes. Any feedback? Do you like it? Didn't like it? Raise your hand if you like it. If you don't like it, say I don't care. Any question? No questions? I think it was too long presentation. I tried my best to reduce the number of slides and talk. But thanks for providing this opportunity. I wish you all very best. I'm sure that you will do great in the interviews. Make sure that use some of the tips. If there is anything interesting that you learn and you want to reach out to me, please pass on to, or probably reach out to Ranjit sir, and he can connect you to me, and then we can talk about your experiences, right? So that I will also learn, right? What are the tips and tricks and the things that I talked about? If you think it made sense for you, and you use some of the practices in your interviews and you are successful, unsuccessful, share those stories with me, right? And you can reach out to Ranjit sir, and he will share that information with me. With that, I think I'm done from my side. If there are no questions, we can conclude this session. But thanks for attending this particular session. I really appreciate all your patience and wish you all the best in your career, in your life. I hope that you'll be very, very successful. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
I request Pranali Patil for vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I extend my warmest greeting to all gathered here today. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Ganesh Anekar for his enlightening discourse on interview techniques and soft skills required in industry. Your expertise, knowledge, uh, have undoubtedly equipped us with valuable insights that will guide us through our career journeys. Your tips on interview strategies and resume building and soft skills are invaluable assets that we will carry with us as we navigate the professional world. We are truly grateful for your time, effort, and dedication in sharing your expertise with us. Your passion for empowering others shines through in your presentation, and we are fortunate to have had the opportunity to learn from you. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening session. Thank you, Softloans, and also thank you, Dr. R.V. Pawar, sir, for arranging such a helpful and valuable session for us. And also thanks to all staff for motivating us for joining. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks. Bye bye.